Greetings once more from Arrowthwaite Woods, slightly less out of breath today. I've rested as much as I can, because I'm not one for sitting around, and I feel a bit stronger. Still puffy with the pollen though, because it gets into your flipping eyes and makes your eyes all puffy, and anyway, I love a bit of pollen now and again. Taking that histamine bath, I'm sure that they've given in. Anyway, possibly pro-histamine. Maybe they've crossed the divide and joined the pollen brigade. Anyway, brevity and profundity and older age and infirmity. 4 subjects that ever since I retired have become more prevalent in my thoughts, which I'm not quite so sure where to begin. First off, I think a bit like a rudderless boat that's just drifting aimlessly. I've kind of felt a bit that way since I lost structure and routine, which I'm sure many people who've become retireless are absolutely loaded and they spend most of the time on holiday. But even then, you've got to come back to the quiet of your own space and face the inevitable, the 5 stages of a human. And I'm into, if you believe the chronological age theory, that 70 years and 10, I'm hurtling towards the big 7-0, which I'm not daunted by. I don't feel any massively different from what I did when I was younger. So it is something that we all have to face. And I've looked at death, loss, thought about the gap between myself and my children, or the 2 boys from the acrimonious divorce, Lee and David. Our relationship was fractured massively after me and their mum split. That was very sad, because it wasn't something that I don't think either one of us set out to do, but it just broke down, and I thought it was the best for everybody involved that we split up. Sometimes I do regret that so much pain was caused, but it wasn't working and it had to end. Just sad that the 2 boys were involved, but I'm not going to get too morose about that, because it's still there. But I do wonder sometimes that once I've popped my clothes, because we don't always know when we're going to go, and I'm not being miserable either, what's going to be like for them. Left with that fragmented relationship, and up until I left the marriage, it was really good, I thought. Anyway, we got on really well, and I've kept a lovely picture where they came to stop with me one time. They're in my study at Hartington Street. Yeah, a lot of weird thoughts. The brevity, the lightness, the humour. It comes and goes, but it's not as prevalent as it used to be. The infirmity aspect, I've noticed that I've gone back quite a lot with all the old injuries and things, and they're becoming more regular. Yesterday, you'd probably tell by the video if you watched it, it was pretty well wiped out. It wasn't just the asthma, it was also all the arthritis, which just drains you. Maybe you could say, well, stop in, don't climb up steep hills, but then, well, you're a long time dead, are you? Anyway, I talked about brevity, and I hope that some of my deliberations have been funny in some ways, although you can probably tell in my voice there's a bit of flatness there, and that's part of the issue I was talking about earlier there. Depression comes and goes. I'm lucky not to be a manic depressive. sort of clinical, well, massively clinical issue anyway. But it does overwhelm me sometimes, and it's just hard being around people. But home bargains, one of my pit stops. Something else you do when you retire as well. You end up in all these shops that you wouldn't normally go in. I mean, I go in because I get stuff, but half the time it's filling time in. Anyway, mentioned infirmity, I mentioned the brevity aspect, and profundity. I've become more profound in my thoughts, deliberations, and I even of late thought about all the possessions I've got and how it just sometimes overwhelms me. I think, God, I've got all this stuff I've accrued over a lifetime. Just 1 second. Yeah, all that stuff, and you realise that you can't take it with you. You didn't come into the world with it. What the hell are you going to do with it? So I try. Well, I've been trying lately anyway. There's 2 reasons why. One of them, I think I probably inferred earlier. The other one is that I just find that having too much is actually quite stressful. You keep stuff that you might need. I mean, the stuff that's of nostalgic value, it's important for me that I keep that. But hell, there's a lot of stuff, including the Ford Capri. No jokes, please. Oh, on that note, someone I used to work with social services years ago, one of the day service officers. I pulled up on the car park in my racing green. Oh. Bumblebee asleep. I've seen more this year than I have done quite a while, which is nice to see. Oh yeah, so I pulled up, feeling all cool, shorts on, t-shirt, one of my racing t-shirts. Got out and she told me a joke about Ford Capri. What's the difference between a Ford Capri driver and a hedgehog? You know that one? The hedgehog. All the pricks on the outside. Crestfallen. Anyway, I'm going to come back to this when I've done what I've got to do. I know you can't wait. I'm due a haircut as well. It's getting a bit profound. Yeah. That'll blossom lovely. Seems much richer, more vibrant this year than it was the past few seasons during lockdown. Maybe they're feeling a bit better as well. Anyway, I'll come back to my deliberations. I'm going to mention about Nigel, and I shall bid you farewell until then. Back again. Not quite as out of breath as yesterday. Still getting me. That was the wind's blowing it into my eyes. You'd probably tell I look a bit bloodshot, and I've just developed devil's horns. Well, white ones anyway. And it gets in your system fairly quickly. Although I'm taking all the precautions I can do, unless you wear a bloody fishbowl over your head, you got any chance. You probably noticed the cabbage white, oh, another one. Butterfly that flew across the screen earlier. There's quite a lot of them around at the moment. No cabbages, but lots of cabbage white. The earlier piece of video before I started talking was just showing you some of the beautiful wildflowers that are abundant now. Everything seems to be in full flight. The bluebells are still going, English and Spanish, and it's looking good. I'm going to take my time going up here. Excuse me. So I was. Oh yeah. First of all, I want to share some sad news. I bumped into an old work colleague, Francis, who, after the last debacle, where someone told me your drummer friend Mickey had died, and he actually hadn't, even though he wasn't very well. I do think that this particular source is reputable, but please don't take it as gospel. Keith, who a good friend of ours and tremendous supporter of what we do in the charity, and a lovely man as well. He has contracted dementia, and apparently he's gone through a divorce from his husband, who didn't marry him that long back really. It's only maybe a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, I can't remember now. So it's very, very sad that, and if it is true, which I think it is, then hope you all join me in wishing Keith well with that horrible illness. Our good friend Raymond Gill, he died from it, and it was horrible to witness a once lovely, vibrant individual turn into just literally a cabbage. Sorry, cabbage white. There's no cabbages around here. Yeah, so it's very sad that. I'm hoping we can go and see him. I don't know what the care situation is, but I'm sure we'll find out somehow, and then we can go and hopefully lift his spirits. We did notice some time back during the phone call where he didn't know who we were, and we just thought it was a little lapse in memory, or he's just distracted. He didn't actually clear up at that time, and clearly that's one of the earlier signs of him contracting dementia. So yeah, our thoughts are with you, Keith. Hang in there, mate. So I'm going to slow down a bit now, so I'm going a bit fast. I was going to go for a Blakefeld run. I told myself last week I'd do it sometime this week, and I think I'd have to take a paramedic up there with me. So I think I'll just be a little bit more sensible and just wait till it settles down. So, well, not we, but me, because I'm on my own in the woods. Just a second. Flipping hand keeps going to sleep. No jokes, please. So, well, I'll give you the left profile now, because give the hand a rest. Got my body care back with a new body in it. So, yeah, I was on about profundity and how I've kind of become more deep in my thought processes about getting older, and the possessions I've got, and the people that I'm close to, or used to be close to, as I mentioned earlier, and sadly because of certain occurrences we're now distant, and kind of took me back to when I lost my cousin Maureen, who I just introduced Maureen's my cousin, by the way, from Glasgow, to Trey, who had a good crack with her that day. And it wasn't long after that Maureen and lovely Nancy, my auntie, both were involved in a car crash, and sadly both of them lost their lives, so it kind of took me back a little bit there, how quick you can be taken away, and if you don't tie up all loose ends if you can, then it could possibly be too late. So yeah, I would love to make up some ground with all my children. I hope I've been a reasonable dad. You can't always account for breakups between parents, but you can both love them and care for them. But anyway, I'll stop a minute now, turn around. Oh. Some bluebells. Yeah, retirement 3 years in, although it happened before that quite quickly due to unforeseen circumstances, and I think I would still be working now if things had worked out a bit better, because although I enjoy some leisure time, you ain't got the contrast unless you have both. But never mind, I'm going to get back to devoting more time to the charity as well. That should give us some focus. Right, I was going to talk about, just a second, change hands. Very windy. Pollen's attacking me from all corners. I was going to mention about Nigel and his ongoing decoration. I hadn't really noticed, but he was getting a bit anxious and a bit stressed because of all the upheaval. And although Ronnie's doing a good job, I think Nigel's found it quite hard with all the disruption, and he was clearly anxious the other day there, but didn't actually say anything. So I'm going to have a chat with him tomorrow. I mean, he will be better once it's done, because he'll feel much better. He'll have his bat cave, his man cave. Just 1 second. The flipping hand keeps going numb. Just 1 second. My body bag. Oh, another bumblebee. I won't try to show you because you won't see it. A bit like the squirrels I try to show you, too far away. Let's have a little scoot around in the leaves. Quite sure what it's looking for. I don't know whether bees eat honey, do they? Anyway, if you're a bee, please call me on this number and just let me know. So I'm going to have a chat with Nice tomorrow. Just get him settled a bit, and then when everything's back to normal, you can hopefully settle a bit more. He had a trip to Keswick the other day there, which I instigated. It was going to be Kenwell, but he missed the bus, and hopefully he'll be able to tell us a little bit about his trip as well. Trey's doing well. She's pushing on. She's created a lovely home down in Workington. I'm sure you've seen some of the pictures. She's scheduled to have the house painted, the exterior, which our friend, forgot his name now. Oh God, I think I'm starting with dementia. Oh God, Glenn. Yeah, Glenn Reid. Lovely man. He's got his own business, and he's going to be doing the outside of Trey's house. So that should be something that Trey can look forward to, because Glenn always does a good job. I'll strongly recommend him. Now then, I haven't mentioned the royal family. You've probably noticed my rants on Facebook. I don't doubt there's quite a lot of people that disagree with me, but I refuse to live in a society where we have people who are in great need while other people get richer and richer. And I don't want to get into politics, because it doesn't really matter either way what party you are. You cannot stand by and watch people suffer and not have some kind of conscience and try to help them in some small way. And the windfall tax issue was brought to my attention again earlier today on the news, and this Conservative pretty much inferred that people need to try a bit harder, cut back a bit more, work a few more hours, all that kind of shite, while they're sitting on a fucking fortune, most of them. If you are a voter, when this election comes up, the general election, please think not just about yourself and what you've got, but the vast amount of people now, and it's grown in number, who have nothing, children who are going to school with very little food, a lot of children on free school meals, and I remember that embarrassment myself as a child. No child should be on free school meals, they should be well fed. So if you do have a conscience, then please vote those bastards out, because I cannot tolerate listening to fucking Michael Gove and Boris fucking Johnson and the other tart, what's he called, the Northern Ireland Secretary. Spends more time doing his fucking hair than actually caring about the Northern Irish. Anyway, I'm not going to get into too much of a rant, but just bear that in mind. It's not just about yourself, think about others as well. No one's saying give everything away, but you know, there's only so much one person needs. And you can stockpile wealth. I mentioned about all my belongings, but you can't take it with you, and you can only have so much. Right, okay, on that note, I shall love you and leave you. Still stay safe because the virus is still out there. I checked again this morning. I always wear my mask when I go in the shop. I'm one of the very few now. I don't give a shit. I don't want to end up in intensive care and load them even more. We've already got enough to deal with. So on that note, I shall wish you well. I haven't seen a squirrel. Seen quite a few bumblebees though, so they're my new besties. And I shall be back.